Hi, it's Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live number 61. And today we're going to talk about how to be a successful singer. I want to welcome you, those of you who have joined us for this live broadcast in the U.S. and in many parts of the world. We're just coming off of a Christmas celebration. Subia, hi. I just want to wish you all happy holidays and hope that you're having a good end of December, fast approaching a new year. So, happy New Year to all of you also. So, we're going to talk a little about some exciting things today: how to be a successful singer. And thanks, Subia. I want to make sure, Subia, you can see me and hear me okay. And I'm guessing you can since you're responding. So, Subia, would you classify yourself as a? Let me ask you this question: are you pursuing singing because you want to be famous, or are you pursuing singing because you love to sing and you love to perform? Hey, Bridge, how you doing? Welcome to today's broadcast. We're going to have an interesting conversation today about how to be a successful singer, and there's a lot of elements to it. But I think we're going to boil this down to kind of some specific things. Nice to see you, and Yapadios. Nice to have you with us. Happy New Year to you all, and. So I'll flash up my little, so that you know who I am here. Let me see here. Okay, let me see. Yeah, there we go. So, how do you like my little lower third? Lets everybody know who I am, right? Okay, so, Yapadios, Vitus C. Great to have you with us. Nice to have you join us. Joe Weston, wow, I haven't talked to you for a while, Joe. Nice to see you here. Nice to have you back. Glad you're with us today. So, what about you guys? Are you pursuing singing because what's your motivation? Is it you want to be famous, or are you pursuing singing because you would because you love singing, you love performing, you love to sing? Just curious. I had a friend who, actually, she's a student. She comes periodically, and she's pursuing a professional career. She and her husband were were songwriters for years, working for a producer out of Las Vegas. And I asked her some questions one time about a student, and she said, "Why is that student taking lessons? Why is she pursuing singing? Is it because she wants to be famous and rich, or is it because she just has this love of singing, a love of performing?" What's your motivation, you guys? You want to be rich and famous, or do you just love singing? You love performing. You love the connection to the audience. Why are you pursuing it? Subia says, "I think I've loved singing always, and that feeling of performing is something else. I don't mind if I got famous." Yeah, me too. If they could pay me for that, right? Well, that's just a dream. That's really great, Subia. That's kind of my feeling too. But the fundamental motivation for me personally is not that I want to be famous or rich and famous, but I wouldn't argue with it if I would agree if they would agree. I don't know, being famous sounds really awful sometimes. Sounds really awful. You don't have a private life. You can't just go out in public, but I don't have to worry about that. I just love singing. Joe Weston says, "I love singing. Just want to be the best I can be." Isn't that true? And there's such a feeling of satisfaction when we get that. So, anyway, this is our pre-show show. We'll be starting in the top of the hour, which is in the next minute and a half or so. And welcome to you who have joined me early. And I hope you had a nice Christmas day if you celebrate Christmas. And I hope you have a great New Year's Eve and New Year's Day next week. So I've often been asked if why didn't I go to Broadway, or why haven't I, pursued more of a professional career? And really, the answer is I was 43 years old before I found this technique and started regaining my confidence, and that's when I started doing musical theater. It has been 20 years. I started doing my first show in the fall of '97, and here it is, 2017. And I'm 20 years old now and doing musical theater. I just finished this very fulfilling. Oh my gosh, we had such a great time doing A Christmas Carol. I had the chance to play Ebenezer Scrooge. You might notice that today I am clean shaven. All right, welcome everybody. This is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, number 61, How to Be a Successful Singer. I'm very excited to welcome you today, and this is a great topic. Why are you pursuing singing? I've been talking to some of those who have joined us in our pre-show show. Now that you've joined us for the live show, why are you pursuing singing? Is it because you want to be rich and famous? Is that the main motivation? Is just look at it as an opportunity to have everybody in the world know who you are and maybe make a whole bunch of money? Or are you pursuing singing because there's just this basic love of singing and somehow that connection you get with your audience and the performance and so forth? I'll tell you mine is I love performing on stage in musical theater, and I love connecting it to a character. And so I love that kind of a singing where I am presenting a character that has these interesting qualities about them, and that I'm singing a song that connects with the audience to share my message, of that character. It's just, I don't know what it is, but I love that. And where I perform, it's a community theater. It's a beautiful theater, 525 seats. We can get 550 people in it, maybe even 600, somebody said the other day. And we filled the houses. On our show, we just sold out the last couple of weeks. Were really hard to get tickets. And so, but I do it, I don't get paid for it. Now, I've done some other shows in town where I have gotten paid, but they're further away, and this one's very close to my home, and it's big and beautiful, and the people are great, the shows are wonderful, our directors are terrific. And so I get this immense self-satisfaction. Why do you pursue singing? Okay, hey, Mindy, it's great to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. Nice to have you join us. So the bridge says, because I love music, and singing is so different from playing an instrument in the way that you're the instrument, and there's a direct connection between you and the music. The bridge, you've got it, man. It's a good point. There's not only a connection with the audience, but between you and the music. It's a very interesting feeling, isn't it? Yeah, thanks for that, sharing that. Mindy, great to see you too. Subia says, something, sometimes when I look at my favorite artists, I feel like, oh my gosh, I want to be like them, like how they perform in big arenas and stadium. That's cool, but then it hurts because that's a dream. Yeah, but I think it's okay to have those dreams. And I think it's okay to admire and kind of wish that you had that opportunity, because there's some motivation that you could find there. But and performing is fun. That's just, it's such a high for me. It's such a rush. That, I love the singing part. But, I could do that as just like do some straight plays without the musical side of it. And I've done a couple of those, and they've been great. I've loved them. But I've always wanted to sing on stage. I think it's when I'm doing a straight show, I don't quite feel like I'm utilizing all of my or developing all of my gifts and talents, and that means to sing. So I really like it when I can act and sing at the same time, or have a show where I can do both. And this A Christmas Carol was really very fulfilling. But I've had some wonderful experiences doing that. I got to do The King and I a couple years ago. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. And the cat, you learn to love the cast. Anyway, there's a lot of elements about it. Okay, so welcome you guys. Let's maybe kind of get to some of the topic here. So how do you become, after we do this little subject here, we'll do some question and answers. But how do we be a successful singer? By the end of today's broadcast, you'll know how. And you probably already have a good idea of how. And this, of course, is my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see how you feel about it. All right. So I am Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, and this is our 61st broadcast. Can you believe that? It's amazing. And today's topic is how to be a successful singer. Some people just want to do it to be have fame and fortune and be chased around by what is it? The photographers. I've just lost the word. Someone will help me here. I'm going to say by the Pavarottis, but that's not right. Paparazzi, is that right? And others are just, they're just driven by that desire to share their innermost soul through their song, through their story, through their voice. Oh, there's a purity about that. It's just so fantastic. I get a high just thinking about it. Okay, anyway. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to define what, we're going to talk about the definition of successful singer, and then want to talk about how to accomplish that to make you successful. So, all right. Quickly, the bridge says, be realistic about your goals and practice. I think that's so vital. And I think realistic is true. That's a good point, because we can get pretty discouraged if the goals are so far out. Mindy says, very fulfilling performing for people. Very meaningful. The ability to impact and inspire others. Man, I totally agree with you, Mindy. That is so true. Paparazzi. Yeah, thanks, you guys. Now, all right, so let's talk about first, number one. I think that to be successful at singing, it's vital as a singer that you can sing from your chest voice to your head voice easily. That is without reach, without squeeze, without tension. If I said, ah, or ah, or ah, or just yelled it up, ah, it's really hard for me to be successful. So the first principle is you've got to be able to go from your chest to your head voice easily, without breaks, without cracks, without flipping. And folks, none of you here are new. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not sure. If any of you are new, please let me know. I would love to know if you are new. There's a couple names that showed up here that I'm happy to welcome. Majid, Mohammed, nice to have you here. If any of you are brand new, Vita C, I can't remember if you have joined us I think it's been a while. If you're new, let me know. Just say I'm new and hi. But most of you who've been following this and know Power to Sing realize that there is a way, it's possible to be able to do what I've just described, to sing from chest to head, through the bridge, up into your head voice, and back down again without cracking, breaking, flipping, going breathy, and be able to do that on all the different words that we have to sing, and all of our different vowels and consonant combinations. We need to be able to sustain a high note in our bridge and above the bridge with vibrato. We need to be able to have our words understood. The voice needs to be uncluttered, unmanufactured, easy, comfortable, and healthy. We need to be able to sing from soft to loud, loud to soft, and do that in control. There shouldn't be any vocal abuse. That's the foundation. We have to have that foundation. All of these things above that I've mentioned will also promote a healthy voice. So if I said, if I were just discovering this channel or this particular message today, I might even think that I could only sing a certain point and then I had to stop. Or I might say, well, I just have a break in the middle of my area, of the middle area of my voice. Yes, that may be true today, but it's possible to sing through what you think you can't sing through. So for me, I thought my voice stopped at the E above middle C. You've all heard this story, many of you. And now I'm realizing, great, Vita C, he says he's new. So this might be new to Vita C. Looks like your image is a guy, so I'm guessing you're a guy. Sorry if I'm wrong, but so you might have my same situation. I could only sing to the E above middle C. And I would just stop. But I found out as a result of this technique that it's possible to go higher. Without reaching, breaking, struggling, without pulling up the bottom of the voice, without cracking or breaking or flipping and so forth. There's a way to learn how to do that. And once you learn how to do that, we call that bridging. Once you learn to get through the bridge, then the whole world opens up to you in singing. That's the high D. It's not falsetto. That's my head voice. I didn't crack or break into that. I didn't yell it up. I didn't go breathy to hit it. So there's a way to do it. This channel is all about learning how to do that, okay? But if you can't do that, then you have a limitation. And how can you be successful? Well, maybe you can be if you just stayed in your chest voice all the time. I'm sure there are people who had some success. And some of the great, but I'm talking about being a successful singer. I'm not necessarily talking about being rich and famous, because there are rich and famous singers out there or performers that I don't think are that great of singers. But let me tell you, if you're a great singer and you're successful singing, a successful singer, then you can put together an amazing career. But that's another subject. We're talking about being a successful singer. Okay, so let's look at a couple comments. Majid Mohammed, hi, legendary teacher. Is there a man in the history of music that hit the A5 in head voice? Yeah, I think you probably could. I think probably Mario Lanza, is that his name? A5. I'm pretty sure he probably did that. Some very high tenors can do that. Yes. So Subia asks, how to remove jaw tension? Let me come back to that. Vita C says he's new. Awesome to have you today with us. Any other comments about this successful singing? I think it takes time to realize the new coordination is completely different from the old. How true is that? It's not that we're polishing up the old. Got to say goodbye to the old. Well put, Mindy. Well put. If we just think that we can polish up the old, where it's going to be a long road to hoe, we've got to realize that there is a completely new coordination. I think I'm going to use that as a quote, Mindy, because that is a really great insight. And that's maybe why some of us struggle so long. We think it's just going to be a little bit of an adjustment when we learn that we've got to get rid of everything. Well, not altogether, but so much of it we have to change. Not only our thinking, but how it feels. Eupadio says that through singing I gain self-respect and self-confidence. Yeah, it's really true. He says, when I love to sing, even when I sing exercises for hours, it doesn't feel like work. I forget the time when I sing, hopefully not the musical time. Yeah. Also, I'm rediscovering my voice currently. It's such a powerful feeling. It can change one's life. Thank you, Eupadios. My life has been changed by this whole experience. So it's really an amazing thing. My mission is to transform singers' lives. And it is life-changing and transformational. Got it, Stephen Lee. Great. Nice to have you with us. What kind of impact can singing lessons provide? What can you expect out of singing lessons? Good question. And since it's kind of pertinent to what we're talking about, how to be a successful singer, let me say that singing lessons can be a non-starter. In other words, I've seen it in my own voice and in the voices of my kids, my children, before I found this particular technique that I teach, which is basically called speech level singing. It's developed by Seth Riggs. Before I discovered that, I had kids taking lessons. My daughter was taking 6 months. She started out sounding nasally, and 6 months later she sounded nasally. And within lessons, within days, weeks, just a few weeks, this technique with a different teacher completely changed her voice. I have another story. I've got it written down in a vocal journal that I kept. I had another daughter who had just sung in junior high school, and then she came and auditioned for a madrigal group in 9th grade, and her teacher and meanwhile she had been studying with this technique with another teacher, and the teacher stopped and said, "What have you been doing with your voice? This is so improved in just 2 weeks. What did you do? Who are you studying with?" And she told her about it. So the message I'm giving is some lessons. I took lessons in high school from a lady who had her master's degree in vocal performance, and she was an opera singer. She had an album, well-known teacher, but she didn't understand what I'm telling you about today. She did not understand how to do bridging and how to get you from chest to head voice. She didn't ever talk to me about that. And she didn't understand vibrato. I didn't have vibrato. In fact, she misunderstood it. She said, if you don't have it, if you weren't born with it, you don't have it. That was wrong. So, Steve, the wrong teacher can hurt you. The wrong teacher can not hurt you, but not necessarily, they can. I improved as a teenager. But the big thing that's going to bring success as a singer is learning to go from chest to head without breaking, cracking, flipping, going into falsetto, or going breathy. Everybody can learn how to do that. Even as a male, I'm talking about the E above middle C. For the women, it's the A above middle C, that middle break area. They can learn to get through that in the same fashion we can, that the guys can. Well, I just went through that whole thing without cracking, breaking, and flipping. And I'm not in falsetto on that. That was head voice. So, Stephen, finding the teachers who can teach how to bridge, how to get through that break area into head voice with a connected tone is hugely impactful. Hugely impactful. Completely revolutionized my life and my singing. And in a million years, I would have never guessed that I could actually even sing the G connected above middle C. So that was unknown. I stopped at the E. I wouldn't go any higher. Lazy Cat. Hi, what would you recommend to someone who is new to singing but practice vibrato and breathing? I like overall where to start with the voice. I think you've come to the right place, the Lazy Cat. And the first thing you have to do, and I'll tell you what, hang on to the end. I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do right now to get on track, okay? The bridge says a lot of voice teachers don't know about this. All they talk is mask, resonance, the magical support they can't even describe. Well said, the bridge. It's not my word, it's his or hers. The bridge, I don't know. The weird directions they give you made up of their personal sensations. Yeah. I have another story I could tell you. I was studying with a gentleman who was a really great piano player and also taught this technique. So he had this really great combination, great teacher. And he was just accompanying another teacher once who was a famous singer in our area, in our state. He's deceased now, but had been on Broadway, understudied Robert Goulet, had an amazing voice. But he also, on the side, taught voice lessons. And my friend, who is an amazing piano player himself, was his accompanist there in his lessons. And so the way he taught was, do it like me. And he'd demonstrate to the student and try and get the student to mimic him. That provided no benefit to the student because they don't have the gift that teacher has, period. So anyway, some people just say, do it like I'm doing. And, we've all had experiences. Many of us have had experiences like that. I've had college teachers who didn't know this. So Seth Riggs got 2 degrees, bachelor's and master's degree. He still couldn't get through the bridge. And he studied with some of the finest teachers of his day. They could sing it, they could do it, but they didn't know how to teach other people to do it. Nice. Okay, so, the bridge. Hey, I'm Altu. This is my apps account. Sorry, Altu. I didn't know that. I don't think I do that, Altu. Great. Great to have you with us, Altu. Okay, so, great comment, Altu. You're really right on the money. Now, let's take up number 2, because I've talked about this. Number 1, you got to sing from your chest to your head voice without cracking, breaking, flipping, reaching, straining, without going breathy. You need to be able to do it on all consonants and all vowels. You need to be able to sustain the high notes with vibrato. We need to be able to go from soft to loud. We need to be able to do that. We need to be able to do it without going into falsetto. And we need to do it healthily. So there's no vocal abuse, no abuse of the voice. All right, that's the first thing, is we have to be technically sound. That's if you want to be a successful singer. Okay? Number 2, why is the technical the foundation? Now, I guess this is, I don't know, you could say this number 1, part B, but I want to spend a few minutes on this. Number 1 is we want this foundation because your voice will sound great. It sounds great. It's an honest sound. There's no manufactured, made up kind of distorted sound that, is not really you, it's somebody else's. You want to find your voice, do your thing. That's when the audience really connects because they feel the honesty. They feel the honesty of your voice, and they connect with that. I can't tell you. It's so rewarding to have people come up to you and say, "I love your voice." You know what I think? Thank you. My whole night is made. I just have to have one person say that. And I've had multiple people say that the last 4 weeks. And you know what? You know what I'm thinking? I'm not thinking this, oh my gosh, I hope I can keep doing what I'm doing. No. It's just my voice. That's the way I sing. And it's based on the first principle that we talked about today, this technique. And I'm not sweating it because I've added some distortion or some kind of scratch or edge or I don't know. It's just my voice. They love my voice. And so I can just keep building on that and getting that voice more and more, more of what I'm doing now. Just keep growing, keep getting better. But not have to worry about something that oh gosh, if I try and get more healthy, if I try and sing more healthily so I can sing night after night, then am I going to lose my fans? No, I'm already doing that. And so I'm getting fans. I have people who love my voice just the way I am, just the way it is. It's such a great thing. And so you can build real fans based on your real voice and don't have to worry about worrying, if you change your sound that your audience is going to leave. So we build true fans based on our own unique sound and voice. If you can get this foundation of good technique, you're going to preserve your singing voice for years. Most of you are not close to my age. I will be 65 years old February the 14th. Yes, Valentine's Day. And, my voice is feeling pretty good. I have to be careful of acid reflux, and I have to take care of it like you do. But you need to watch out for acid reflux too. But it seems like it gets easier it happens easier as you get older. Anyway, this healthy singing gives you years of singing, years of a career. And I'm hopeful you guys that I've got years yet that I can sing. I may not be able to perform the roles of a younger male, then obviously, and so that's going to probably my way of singing or my outlet for singing is going to evolve through the next few years or the next 20 years. But why not have 65 to 75 to 80? Why not have another good 15 years of singing and performing? Okay. You got to take care of, here's the caveat is this. You can have a great technique, but if you abuse your voice through lifestyle choices, then it doesn't matter what your technique is. It's not going to help you. If you're abusing drugs, alcohol, if your lifestyle doesn't support good health, you've got to take care of your body because that's your instrument. You just got to take care of your body because it's your instrument that you're taking care of. Now, okay. So, you could look at some of the aging singers in today's world who have always had good technique, like Barbra Streisand. Now, she's in her 70s, still performing. Stevie Wonder, I don't know how old he is, but he's been around a long time, had a great, long career. Michael Jackson did as well. He was 50 when he died, but not, it was a anesthesia issue that through careless neglect or whatever, but his voice was doing great, age 50, and he was not babying his voice, as you all know. Paul McCartney, look at him. What is he? And he's in his upper 60s or in his 70s now. I'm not sure how old he is. I don't think maybe he's within 5 years of me. Anyway, he's close to that 70 mark. So, there were others like Andy Williams. He just went on and on forever. So the people who've kept healthy and have sung with good technique have long careers. Now, in opposition to that, on the other side of the coin is look at Adele. Adele has had her second hemorrhage, and it's all based on, primarily based on the fact that she's been singing at the top of her chest, clipping the top of the chest over and over and over again, pretty much yelling it. Why doesn't she change? Well, I don't know. But I'm sure that part of her concern is that if she changes her sound, she feels like she'll have to change her sound to sing with better technique. I'm not convinced that's the case. If she had a really good teacher, I think he could keep her sound but keep her healthy. It's my opinion. She needs to go see Seth Riggs. But anyway, I'm kind of opinionated about that. But I remember, it's in in Seth's book, Singing for the Stars, Michael Jackson said, you don't want your voice to change. You don't want to change your sound, your signature sound, she said. And he said, Seth Riggs did that for me. He keeps me healthy, but I have maintained my sound. So Adele and others have been sidelined. Maybe it's just months, maybe it's a year or 2 years. How much is that worth? So if you abuse the voice, if you don't have that technique, if you don't have that successful technique to be a successful singer for a long time, is maybe impossible. Because if you abuse the voice through poor technique, then you probably need to save your money because your career will be cut short. Now, maybe you can live on record sales for the rest of your life, but you're not going to have the joy of that performance. Okay, so a couple other comments here. Let me take Berno Inferno. Hey, nice to have you with us today. So Subia says, saw Diana Ross in this year's still slaying it. Cool, yeah. Big Paul McCartney fan, amazing musician, singer. As I was typing, you mentioned his name. Gotcha. But it would take her a while to transform her coordination. That's Adele. Yeah, it would take some time. But how much time is it taking for her to heal her second hemorrhage, So hindsight, of course, is always better than, we got 20/20 vision hindsight, right? All right, let's talk about this third aspect of this. And I want to just say that this is probably really actually one part B now, or part C. Without good technique, it won't matter if you have a great team of people surrounding you, unless one of that team is somebody that's keeping your voice healthy with good technique. But it won't matter if you have this great team to support you. It won't matter if you have you're a great marketer and you're targeting your audience that appeals to your genre and your niche in the world's market of listeners to singing. It won't matter if you have a touring contract or a record deal. It won't matter if you have an established style that everybody knows you for and genre that you're known for. It just doesn't matter. I was watching some video someplace, and there was Andre Bocelli, and gosh, he sounded so dang good. Now I don't know how much tweaking they're doing of sound and auto tuning or whatever, but I looked him up. He's 59, I think, 58, 59, something like that, and I thought, good for him. Good for him. He's still. It was a deal with Ed Sheeran. He and Ed were doing some kind of a project together, and it was awesome. There's Ed Sheeran and Andre Bocelli singing together and doing some stuff, and And I thought 59, and he's knocking it dead. And from the sound of his voice, I think he's got years of good singing left. So it doesn't matter if you have the greatest team support in the world. You have this business juggernaut. Shut down if you have the problems with your voice because of poor technique. Why? Your ability to sing will degrade over time. You look at Whitney Houston. Some of of course, was her lifestyle. Some of it was because she began to pull chest in a big way. And just the lifestyle plus the poor technique could not sustain it. And you all can go on YouTube and see videos of her trying to sing I'll Always Love You in a lower key with this huge wobble in her voice. It's really sad. So no matter who you are, your voice will degrade over time if you don't have that solid technique that's holding you, and that you have to take care of your life, take care of your lifestyle. And when that happens, your audience starts to fall out, and you lose the joy of it, because your joy is being able to connect with your audience with your voice. All right. So you'll have to live on your past record sales, and if there's a lot of them, then you can have a good life, but you just can't perform. Julie Andrews, she had surgery on her voice, and I thought she had always had good technique, so I don't know what kind of trouble she got into. It can happen in other ways. Like, for example, if you had good technique but you sing sick, you can damage your voice. And you do have to take care of your life so that you don't stay up too. I have to say, and granted, these touring artists like Adele have this horrendous schedule. You combine this awful schedule with marginal technique, and it's a recipe for disaster. So, just to recap, successful singing is critically based on great technique, solid technique. It's technique that's second nature to you. And you can have all these other great things, like a great team of support and great marketing and all the other things. But it's going to be the voice. And if with that voice, with that great technique, you can have years of singing success, even into your older age, even when you're like 65. Okay. So let me address a couple other questions here. And let me go back up, because there were a couple questions that weren't necessarily on topic, but I'm going to try and get those as quickly as I can here. So going back up to Subia asks, how to remove jaw tension. Well, Subia, how do you remove jaw tension? I think the easiest, fastest, quickest, best answer is you study good technique and you focus on that. And by getting your technique down solid, whether it's extrinsic neck muscles or what other things that you're doing will start to fall away. They'll stop. You'll realize that you don't have to over tighten or jut your jaw forward. Now, one of the things that people do is they move their jaw forward when they sing. So you can take your hand like this. Sorry. Put your hand behind just put your thumbs right here. And take your jaw and kind of press it in a little bit. Gently. You don't want to do this hard. And just kind of rest your hands here so that when you're singing, you don't jut your chin forward, because that's going to create tension in the jaw. That's a technique that works. It helps you become aware so that you can relax that. It's usually a habit that's caused it. Sylvia says, I'm not able to find my mix sometimes. If I like if I sing Titanium in the chorus, I just enter my head voice. It takes some work, takes some practice, but eventually it comes. And again, Sylvia, it might be helpful for a lesson. One of the things that I could recommend you do, Subia, is when you're doing the chorus, when you're doing the verse, or when you move to the chorus, and a lot of times the chorus is higher, so you don't want to do it in chest. Take the exercise and do it on mum. Find that mixed place in the verse, and then do that on a mum or a no in mix. And then do the chorus the same way. Do it with a mum or a no that's a mix mum and a mix no. Substitute those exercises in where the words would be. Do it successfully in mix. Then come back and see if you can't reproduce the same feeling with the words. Do that back and forth until you can keep that in your mix. Vida's a guy. Okay, great to have you here, by the way, Vida. Okay. So Yapadio says, I'm rediscovering my voice currently. It's such a powerful feeling. It can change one's life. Yes, sir. What kind of impact can lessons have? So the impact, Stephen, on the positive side, it can be just like turn your world upside down. I can't tell you what it did for me. In terms of like revolutionizing my singing voice and my life. And that's kind of my transforming lives. That's my secret saying that I have. I transform singers' lives because it does. It's so transformative. Lazy Cat says, what would you recommend to someone who's new to singing? Okay, so here's what I want to say, those of you who are new today. I recommend that you go to powertosing.com, and let me pull this over. I'm going to bring up the home screen, and there you see it. If you go to powertosing.com and take what I've called the power test. Basically what that is you start a recording so that it records your voice, and then you push this play button, and for guys it will start playing these notes. Now you can watch the video here and it will explain how to do this. But you sing ah, and you go up the scale, and we listen to see what happens when you go through the bridge. Ah. Some of us will get through that okay. Ah. So I can mix, so that would be a mixed vocal type. So what you're trying to find out here is what is your vocal type, or in other words, what do you tend to do when you sing through the bridge? Now, once you've recorded that, you can go back and listen to it and then answer these questions. Does it feel or sound like I'm yelling, straining, or forcing my voice as I sing higher? In other words, did I go, ah? Well, yes, I better write that down, so I'll put yes there. Does it feel like it just something stops me and it won't let me sing any higher? Yeah. Ah! Can't go any higher. That's a yes. Did it break? No, I didn't break. I stopped before that. Did I go flat? Yeah. And so you just go down this list here and answer the questions. Did I flip or crack? Write that down. Or do I do the whole thing kind of breathy? These questions, as you answer them, submit your answers, and within about within a couple minutes or less, you will receive your vocal type. So your vocal type then would be one of four things. It could be pulled chest, high larynx, could be light chest, no chest, flip, falsetto, or mix. Now you can watch some videos here. I just recommend you come up to the Knowledge Center on the website and go to the page here that your vocal type is. Let's say it's pulled chest, high larynx. you click on Pull Chest High Larynx. It takes you to a whole page of videos. There'll be 3 videos. It'll describe, this first one is what it is, and I give you examples. This next one is exercises that will help address the issue of pulled chest high larynx. It's going to help counteract what you tend to do when you sing into the bridge and sing higher. So it's going to help you be able to do that. And then you can actually see videos here of professional singers who, unfortunately, sing with pulled chest high larynx. Of this group right here, like 4 to 5, maybe 6 of them have already had surgery on their voices, including Adele. Then you can download free exercises. So for guys or ladies, you come here, you download the exercise, push on that button, and you'll have the same exercises that I demonstrate on this first page. I show you the exercises, and then you can download the exact exercises I show you, okay? So I just want you to be able to have, that's such a powerful start for what you want to do. I can't recommend higher a beginning place, Lazy Cat, than that. Find out what your vocal type is. Then start working on those exercises that are going to counteract what you're doing wrong and help you do it right so that you can get through that bridge, get up into your head voice. Then the whole world starts looking different. It's so exciting. What would you recommend to someone who is new to singing? Yeah, okay, that's what we just answered. A lot of teachers don't know. That's a great comment, Altu. Okay, so I love that Messa Voce you're doing. I hope your second course will be out soon. Yeah, Altu, thanks for mentioning that. I just will say that I am going to be releasing a course called Master the High Notes, and it definitely will have help you with that Messa Voce. And so that should be coming in the next few weeks, and I'll keep you posted on that. Thanks for mentioning that, Altu. Majid Muhammad, reverse technique, say to think that high notes are coming down and low notes go up, make my larynx stay neutral and more in place by the time I am close to the A sharp 5 head voice. Yeah, so I think it's a really great technique to approach singing the high notes as if you were going lower. Because if you think about it for a minute, our vocal cords are laying horizontal in our voice. They're not up and down like this. They're laying horizontal. So there's no up and down. The vocal cords don't adjust up, or this way. They're just adjusting by tensioning and in a horizontal plane. So it helps really to be thinking of singing as if you were singing a note lower. It does help because it helps take the attitude of reach out. But if I said ma, if I said ma 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 ma, if you think as if the notes were going down instead of going up, or here's another way of thinking about it. I think of it as in a stadium, like you're in a football stadium, and around the track, around the stadium, it's an oval. So I think ma 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 ma. So I think of it all on a flat ground, or just in this oval shape, rather than up and then down. And it's amazing how much easier that helps in many instances. Great question, great comment. And I think it helps. I don't know that I could hit the A sharp 5. I could hit it, but I don't know it would be one that I could actually sing. I just love to ask and love your personality. Thanks, Majid. Appreciate that. So, I thank you. Lazy Kiss, I love how you explain these things. So, thank you, and I'm glad that you've joined us today. So Altu says, even if we do all the work, and even if we do all the work, as you always say, some will like it, some won't. Yeah, some people like your voice. And, there's always going to be a percentage that don't. But you don't like everybody's voice, right? Everybody you hear, you like? No. Eupadios, big smile, I guess. And, okay, someone saw, okay, yeah, that's right. All right, so just wrapping it up here. We're just about done. Mindy says, it would take her for a while to transform her coordination. That's speaking of Adele, and that's for sure. And so for those of us who are new to voice lessons, that's one of the biggest challenges we face is we have this muscle memory, the way we've done it for years. And we have to, and Mindy kind of referred to that a while ago, that we've got to let go of it and begin to accept a new feeling, accept a new way of doing things. Yes, Ed Sheeran is just something else. He's amazing. So Subia, there was something on YouTube I saw with Ed Sheeran and Bocelli. It was really fun to watch. Okay, Robert Smith of The Cure still has a great voice and quite a unique one. Awesome. He's 58 years old. Interesting. Can you address the power of nay? Nay has a lot of uses, and where primarily we use that in this technique at first is just to build the connection between of the bridge. So from chest to head. It's also can be very useful, like with male teens whose voices have changed. Now they got this big hole in their voice. So if I can just say, if you could say to someone who has a big flip or crack or break, it's quite a powerful exercise. There's a couple reasons. There's two sounds to A, nay, nay. A is chesty, E is heady. Nay, 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 nay. And if I move quickly to the E, it really helps me get easily into my head voice. So it provides this brush through the vocal cords that give me some chest and some head in one usage, you know. But if I add a little bit of bratty or witchy sound, it helps to build a connection in the voice. So I can take some of the thickness of the chest voice, nay, 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 and some of the falsetto out, nay, 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 by just saying nay, 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 nay. So there's great power in building that connection. The other aspect of that is do it soft. Do it softer. We can be bratty without being, we can still be bratty and not be loud. Nay, 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 nay. Now the larynx is up a little bit. But once we get that connection from chest to head, nay, 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 then we can start to go a little more normal. Because now the nervous system has felt that connection. No break. It's heavier, it's lighter than chest, but heavier than we're deeper than falsetto. Now I can go a little normal, see if it holds. Nay, 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 nay. Or once I do that, no, 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 no. And that brings the larynx down. And so we're able to build a connection that way. So that's part of that beauty of nay. And then if you think about it as if it were nay, like you're from Ireland, nay. Nay, 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 nay. It's very helpful. Eupadio says, in case you're not familiar with The Cure, I suggest you take a listen. Robert Smith's voice is, for me, the epitome of connected resonance. Cool. Thanks, Eupadios. All right, everybody. Great seeing you all today. Thank you for joining me in this Power to Live broadcast, number 61, on how to be becoming a, let me make sure I'm saying this right, how to be a successful singer. I hope you found it beneficial. For those of you who are just new, as I recommended earlier, go to powertosing.com, take the power test, the vocal test, take the quiz, discover your vocal type. You can also send it to me. I wouldn't do both. Do one or the other. You get it faster if you just do it in email. Depending on the day and time that you send it and so forth, it could be hours, days, up to 48, 60, 2 or 3 days before I get back to it because I have so many. So quickly, Joe asks, thanks for all you do. Chuck, always exciting to see what you're teaching us next day. Look forward to the next time. Thanks, Joe. Very nice. Maybe for another time, the way you explain to increase the volume is so important. Okay. Oh, Ethan, sorry you're late. But you know what? This will be ready to watch in the next few minutes on YouTube. So thanks for saying hi. All right, everybody. Thanks very much. And this is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live. You can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. See you inside the next video or broadcast. Thanks.